So in this part, we are going to write the JavaScript code to display the pop-up. For now, this is what we have. And we are going to actually use JavaScript code to display it. The reason is because we need to assign, to extract the price and the product ID and assign it to the confirm button. So this is what we are saying. If I go back to this place, so now we are going to go to, now this is the button that actually makes the request. Okay, so there is a button that actually makes the create new order request that creates a new order. So if I go to this page, if I click on this button, this button is actually the button that places the order, right? So we are going to extract this URL that you can see in the status bar right here, and give it to that button on the Modal pop-up. If you understand what I'm saying, that should be fine. So in this case, the href for this button for now is not known. But once this button is clicked from this table, we are going to assign this href attribute to this button. So for now, we are going to remove the data target and also the data toggle from here. So let's do a bit of JavaScript. We are going to use a JavaScript code to display the pop-up and the pop-up. So the JavaScript, I've called it main.js, and this main.js is found in the static folder. We've not written it, and we are going to write it right now. So I'm going to go to the static folder. I'm going to create a new JavaScript file. I'm going to call it main.js. All right. So let's learn a bit of JavaScript now. For anything in your page to actually run or to actually work, you need to use start the code with document.ready function. This jQuery. For now, let me just save everything and restart so that you can see that I've actually removed the code that displays the Modal pop-up. So this code will actually not work once this application restarts, and we are going to use JavaScript to display it. So let's get back here and let's wait for a couple of seconds. So everything should be fine. So if I get back here, so I hope that this code is not going to work at this point. So if I click on it, nothing happens, so it comes back here. Alright, so let's write the JavaScript code. So the first thing you want to do is to start, as I mentioned, you need to first say document.ready. So that makes it that any code you are going to run is going to run after this document have actually loaded completely. So we are going to start function. Okay, so callback. Yeah, so everything is going to be in between this code. Okay, so we want in such a way that we want to get when this button in the table is clicked. So we are going to use a selector. We are going to select the table, and inside the table we select the other button, by the other button. So when this is clicked, on click event of this button, on click. All right, so on click of this button, we are going to run a callback function. All right, so this function, we need a parameter which is event that triggered the callback. So basically, when you click a button and it's an event that executes, that event is what we specify as a function, as a parameter to this function. So since this is a link that we are clicking, it's likely to try to go to this to the URL, which is this place. Okay, so we don't want it to exhibit this behavior of redirecting to this URL. So I'm going to prevent, because this is the default behavior, so I'm going to prevent the default behavior by saying events.prevent default. Alright, so it means it's not going to redirect. We don't want it to redirect. We simply want it to display the pop-up button. Alright, the pop-up modal form. Alright, so when this button is clicked, we want to get the URL of the button, right? So this URL of this button, let's get back there, I show you. This URL here, we want to retrieve it. So when you hover, you can see the URL on the status bar. Alright, so to get that URL, I will say href, I'm assigning it to a new variable I'm creating. It's going to be this, because this is the event that triggered, that represents the button that was clicked. This, the attribute. The attribute is href. So timelib we specify as in timelib. You can see the href in timelib. We specified it as href. Normally it evaluates to href in HTML code. So we are going to use normal HTML href. So we are not saying that, we are not saying like this. This is not what we are going to say. The attribute is also href, irrespective or regardless of whether it's timelib prefix with timelib prefix. All right. So now we have the link th. The attribute now is assigned. This is assigned. I can actually just echo it. So I can say console.log. So we can just take a look at href. Alright, so let's just take a look. When we click, we want to look at the console. So I'm going to just save everything, and I'm going to restart this application at this point. So stop and rerun. Let's rerun this application just to see, to make sure that the URL is retrieved onto this JavaScript file, and also make sure that this JavaScript file is working. Right, I think everything started perfectly well. So let's just go back to the page and just test it. So I'm going to refresh. This should be fine. So I'm going to open the console by going to inspect. I'm opening the console so that we can see, that we can capture the URL of the button. So I'm going to just open up the console this way. It says resource load, server responded with status. So if I click on this, you can see, let's go to, so I think we have, let's go back here, so we have an error. Okay, so let's just get back to the page. Semicolon. Okay, so let's just continue. Let's not worry about this for now, because this is something I don't know. So what we are going to do now is to select is to assign this href attribute to the href attribute of the confirm button. So the confirm button is, I can select it using a selector, so it should be inside the order modal. So inside the order modal, and the button is order ref. Okay, so I'm selecting this attr. Okay, so I'm assigning the href attributes the value of href, which we already got from the other button, which is this one. Okay. And then I'm going to display the modal form by saying I'm also going to select the other modal .modal. Okay, so this is the syntax. I hope I got it correctly. This should be fine. So let's just save everything, and let's try to re-execute this code and see what happens. So I'm going to stop and run. So everything started perfectly well, so let's go test it again. So I'm going back here and I'm going to so we are actually gonna visit the index page. So I'm going to click on the other one now and nothing happens, so this is something we need to correct. So it seems to me that okay, so let's try to solve this problem right now. So once I click on this button, nothing happens, or it goes to this page. So basically, one thing you can see is that there is a syntax error right here, but there is something else I would like to show you. So if I go to the index page, take note of how we include the script tag. Now, in the first place, I removed the other src where I had src is equal to like something like this, src src equals, and I have the static like this main.js. So this is not necessary. This is not necessary. We can actually remove it. So take note of that. So in case of when you are using time-leaf, you can actually include your JS file in this way. Okay, let's go back to see where this problem is coming from. So you can see it tells us uncaught unexpected token in main.js line 3. So if we go to main.js line 3, you can see that we have an error here. So it's actually going to be on click. So this is the correct syntax. So take note of this, and we are going to run it now, and hopefully it's going to the problem is going to solve. I'm going to restart this application at this point. So let me stop and restart. So the application started on port 8080. So I'm going to refresh this page, and hopefully we are going to see that this error will go away. Okay, so I'm going to now click, and you can see that we have this pop-up here saying confirm order. So if I click place order, nothing happens. Okay, nothing happens. So let's go fix this problem at this point. So let's now go back to. So we are going to go back to the home controller, and we are going to write a mapping for new order, and I'm going to do that in the next part. So I'd like to thank you for being there, reminding you to subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, and also if you have challenges, please leave a comment for me, and I'm going to give you the needed support.